What's up, everybody? This is Ted, and I'm going to talk to you about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, my time with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure started off really bad and ended really good. I honestly, when I first watched JoJo's, I accidentally didn't know what to watch, and I watched the old OVA of the 90s or whatever animation they did, and I didn't like it. And ever since at that time when I seen it, I actually really just hated on the show without even knowing what was it about. I really didn't know anything about it. I just didn't like the art style, which is kind of crazy because I actually like 90s art styles a lot, like Yu Yu Hakusho and all that other stuff like that. But JoJo's didn't stick with me for some reason, and I hated it for a long time. And there was no justice for why I hated it. I just did. But as time went on, I actually was introduced to the actual retelling of the new studio doing the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I actually fell in love with it. And it's a great series, which I don't understand why a lot of people won't give a chance to and judge it off of some scenes and obscurities. But that all aside, it's actually a great show about a lineage of family members of the Joestars that go out and defeat evil and anything that comes up to them to defend the people they love and whatnot. But so this video, don't know where I'm going to go with it, but I really just want to tell you about why I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and why you should actually give it a shot if you haven't seen it already. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the West isn't as popular as is in Japan. Obviously, in Japan it's like the bee's knees over there, and obviously it has some differences that a lot of people don't like. I know some of my friends said they just feel like it's just a bunch of buff men fighting, but that's actually, which is true, but I don't understand how that's like going to stop you from liking it. But the reason why I like JoJo Bizarre Adventure is because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey that takes place in the whole show. Starting off with like the part 1 with Jonathan Joestar, it's just like he's a preppy boy. He's trying to be a gentleman and everything, but he's not doing so good, but he's over there throwing himself in danger to protect his loved ones. Then he meets Dio, who's just an asshole and like kicks his dog, kicks his dog, kisses his girlfriend and whatnot. And then in the midst of all that, somehow Dio finds a mask that he puts on his face that turns him into a mortal vampire, and it turns into this whole like gothic horror type thing. And he raises like vampire and zombie armies to take over the world. And Jonathan, as with Dio being his half brother now, since his dad promised the guy Dio's dad that he'll do something. He was in a life debt with him, and he adopted Dio when that dude's dad died. But so it's like his half brother, and he feels like it's his need to put an end to him. And it's just you go on this journey of him actually learning how to fight using the Ripple or Haman or Hammond or Haman or whatever you want to call it. And he goes out and he meets these people. And he goes and fights them. And then the next one, which is part 2, is Joseph Joestar, which is his grandson. And he goes off on his journey and learning how to beat the Pillar Men, the creators of the mask that turned Dio immortal, and he has to stop them because they're free and everything. And then you got part 3, which is just a cool old road trip of trying to defeat Dio because he came back, and he has to go and you have to go to all parts of the Middle East to finally get to Egypt to actually put an end to him. And then part 4, which is Diamond is Unbreakable, you have it's not like an adventure anymore. It's just more of like a go around like a Nancy Drew type of like mystery murder show where it's all in this sleepy little town. The murders happen. You have Josuke, who's different from all the other Joestars because rather he's a gentleman. Jonathan was a gentleman. Joseph was just a guy who did anything to do, like he'll lie, run away, and stuff like that, or fight dirty to get the job done. Jotaro was just like an asshole. He didn't care about anybody either. And then you have Josuke, who actually cares about his friends. His stand, which is his power, which is like his ability as a stand, he actually heals people, but he can't heal himself. So he's more of a helping manner. And you have to go around and find out who's killing these people and why are they doing it. And then you got Golden Wind, which is amazing because now you flip it. Usually we're all good guys. The Joestars are all good guys now. Giorno, who is Dio and Joseph's half son, Jonathan's half son. You gotta watch it to understand it, but he's in the mob, and it's like a mob flick, and he just like everyone you meet is a bad guy. Like there's no good guys in this show. The bad guys are you're rooting for. They're rooting for the bad guys. You're rooting for the bad guys to kill the bad guys. It's just like it's totally flips, and it's just like it's an amazing story. And the character design for them are really great. Like I never, the character design and like art design and like it's just so amazing. Like I never seen any type of art style like this, and it's pretty and it's really great because it's like if it's like it's just came out of the manga because the manga is like drawn just like this, which is pretty crazy. And and with the like the fashion and like designs like with the clothes they wear is pretty unique too because like some of the like most of this is like in 1838, 1980, 1988, or you know 2000s or 1999, 2000s, 2001s. But I guarantee you I never seen anyone wear stuff like this in my life, and it's so crazy and it sticks out and it's colorful. Like the colors match. It's that goes to the creator for doing such a great job of the art and designing of these characters. Like the nothing looks different. I mean, like the colors don't clash with each other; they actually complement each other, which is really hard to do with all these different characters. And he does it for every single one, which is unique. And then he has this art style where like it'll look normal, and then the next scene there'll be like different colors everywhere, and the characters' colors will be different, and then the sky will be different. You know, it's just like all these different color swaps. And again, at the same time, the colors are not clashing with each other, and it's just like this beautiful like art, and it's like touches you. And then the music on top of that, like the music is just so amazing. And and I understand like not some of it's like reused or remixed, but it's or some of them are completely new. The opening songs are great. Like well, this is probably like one or two I don't like, but the songs and music for the score for it all is just great altogether. Like it's just an amazing ride, and you throw that in with everything else I said, and you mix it up, and you got this crazy show that you just want more of. Like when you watch a show, like I feel like when I watch this show, I feel like I'm like it's a part of me, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm really into this show. I go through everyone's journey, every character's progression and its training, and all the way to the final destination, and I feel like I was with them this whole time. Like I feel like I own this show. If that makes sense, does that make sense? Like you feel like you are one with this show. You go through everyone's journey. Like in Stardust Crusaders, I literally sat there from the beginning when Joseph found Jotaro, who thought he was possessed by a spirit, but he had a stand, and he meets up all these people, and they go all the way on this road trip to go fight Dio again. And then Dio's sending his henchmen to go fight him, so everywhere they go they're getting attacked. I see people die, people barely make it, you lose people, like you meet new people that you care about. And then like you go through the ups and downs between all the friendships and like and all that stuff like that. And then when you finally get the payoff at the end of the show, you're like, oh my goodness, like what a journey I've been through. But you literally haven't been through it. You say the characters in the show have been through it, but you feel like you're invested into what came through at the end. That's why I really like this show. Like you don't get that with a lot of other animes that you have or have not. Like with Goku, like let me bring it to Dragon Ball Z because that's the next best show that I like. When you're in Dragon Ball Z, like what, like yes, you have training arcs, and like Dragon Ball was more martial arts and stuff like that. Before like it came to Z and Super, then when Z and Super came out, you just had like a couple of new techniques, but everything is teleportation and punches and Kamehamehas and just Super Saiyans and Super Saiyan Blues. And like, yeah, that's cool and all. Don't get me wrong, that works for that anime. But with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I almost forgot what I was talking about. With JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, you get this training arc and characters like you just don't. It's as much as it is people think this shows there's a bunch of buff people punching each other, it's really not that. You really, like for instance, when Jonathan Joestar finally met up with Dio at the end of part 1, he was in this burning coliseum, like this castle place was burning down, and he had to stab Dio with the sword and infuse the Haman technique into him to kill him. But he couldn't touch him because if he touched Dio will flash freeze him because that's an ability the vampire has, obviously. If you didn't know that. Because I didn't. But he flash freezes him and he can kill him. So he had to use everything around the fire from the lights, the sword. You know, he had to do all these different techniques and stuff to finally land the finishing blow on him. And it's just like, dude, like I never seen something like that where he's using everything around him to finish off Dio. And like going to Go into part 4 with Diamond is Unbreakable when they beat Yoshikage. Oops, sorry, that's my phone. When they finally defeat Yoshikage, Josuke, the main character, didn't do it. It was a like combination of everybody that you met so far in the show doing their part and stopping him once and for all. Like you go from Josuke and you go to like Jotaro and then you go to, you know what I mean? You just get, everyone has a hand in it and it's more fleshed out than just the main character out there beating them. And it's just like you go through all that and you're like, dude, everyone had a shot in this in part 4. Everyone had a shot at the main villain. You can compare that to Dragon Ball Z, where basically Goku is the one that always finishes the bad guy, or Gohan finishes Cell, or it's Goku Frieza 18 beat Jiren. You know what I'm saying? That's more of a combination of coming together than anything what I previously said. You know, it's Goku. Goku's just like the main character, and he gets like the shine most of the time, which is cool because I like Goku. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like talking mess about Dragon Ball Z, but with JoJo Bizarre Adventure, everyone has their stance. It's more of a strategic battle between finding out what the stand's ability is, finding out what it does, if they're long range, close range, what power does it hold, because in JoJo Bizarre Adventure, everyone's stand is different, which is unique. Because in the first two parts, it was Hamon or the Ripple, or whatever you want to call it, and that I knew that was gonna get like old quick. So when stands came in, that's the most recent thing they're using. The stands is that's what's unique, because everyone's stand is different. There's not two stands that are the same. They like some are good, some are bad, and that's what's really unique about that as well in this show, is that the creator does a great job playing with what just having fun, because there's some stands that pretty much sound stupid but they're actually very clever. Like for instance, this one guy had a stand called the Sun, and it followed Jotaro and everyone around in part 3, and it was making it really hot where they were losing their mind because in dehydrating. But the dude was taken down by a rock being thrown at him, and that was the end of that. Like, it's so like, how are you gonna have this cool old stand that was probably the closest maybe to defeating them at that point, and then just being defeated by a rock being thrown at him? I'm just like, bro, that's so silly. And there's a lot of silly things in this show. Like for instance, there was like this Freddy Krueger baby that it was a baby with a stand, and it made people dream and they can get hurt in the dreams, but he couldn't get hurt in real life. Like he was attacking them in the dreams like Freddy Krueger, but it was a baby. I'm like, bro, like what's going on here? Like it's just a baby. But the creator does a great job with creating these stands and making them different and unique. And on top of that, he gives them these like rock star names. Like you got Black Sabbath, you got Vanilla Ice. You know what I'm saying? Like I guarantee you, if you look it up, like half of the enemy stands are reference to like music performers, like Killer Queen. Bro, that was cool. But yeah, he does a great job. And then on top of that, there's so many like when I say you get invested into this show, like I got invested, like you feel it does a great job playing with your heartstrings for just being a bunch of buff guys punching each other. You know what I'm saying? For instance, like when Caesar died in part 2, Caesar was trying to fight one of the Pillar Men to get the cure of the poison that was in Joseph Joestar's blood, because it was gonna kill him, and he risked his life to do it, and he almost beat him, and the Pillar Man was like basically on his knees, but Caesar couldn't do it. But so he used the last, like he's bleeding out, and the Pillar Man's like, dude, you almost got me. You could have beaten our master, but good thing I was here. And he tries to turn around and walk away, but Caesar's there, and he's like punching him, but he's like, there's no power behind it. He's just like swinging, and the Pillar Man's like, dude, like you're gonna die. You're bleeding out. I'm surprised you haven't. And then he uses like all of his thing to pull the lip ring, which had the cure in it, out, and he's like, dude, what are you doing? Do you just want the lip ring? Like he knew what was in it, but he didn't know what Joseph was at, so he was like, dude, you're gonna die with it here. Like no one's gonna find you. So he's healing his wounds, and Caesar uses the last of his Hamon like his dad did for Jonathan Joestar in part 1, and infused it into the ring and made a bubble out of his own blood so he could stay behind for Joseph. And when they seen that, and dude, and like I'm like, bro, why couldn't you be 10 seconds early? Then after he died and got crushed by the cross from like they're fighting in this like castle, like I don't know, I guess it's like a church or something, and this cross falls on top of Caesar, and he's dead. And then right when that happens, freaking Joseph comes in because he heard Caesar. He doesn't know what's going on. He's like, "Where's he at?" And the Pillarman gets away before that, and he sees the bubble, and he knows that when seeing the bubble of blood, he knows Caesar is dead, and he touches it, and the Haman is infused with Joseph, and he gets the cure, and he survives. And he's crying. He's like, "Dude, Caesar was my friend. Like we bickered so much when the start, because like they were bickering when they first met, and they had like little headstrong against each other and like a rivalry. But at the end, they were friends." And he was like, "Dude, like I basically just spent all my time arguing with you. We could have been friends from the beginning." And then like he said he's looking for Caesar, and he's digging around like, "Where is he at? Where's his body?" And it was just like it's like a reference like you see a lot because like the afterlife does somehow reach out to like the living, because like as he said that the rocks collapsed where the cross was at, and the sunlight came and it like beamed down on the cross that crushed Caesar, and then you can see the blood. He says, "There he is, that's where he is, Caesar," and he starts crying. It's just like an emotional scene, and then you have this like this opera music in the background, and it just intensifies the scene. And it's just like, dude, like I watched a reaction to it before I did this video, and these dudes were crying. Like, it almost made me cry. Like, it's that intense of like, because you're like, you see these two characters progress so much from hating each other, the bickering, to acknowledging the rivals, to actually training together, becoming friends, and then when they finally became friends, he dies, bro. Like, it's like that serious. You're that invested. And then like later in part four, or no, wait, where am I? Part three at the end, where Iggy and Polnareff, like Iggy's a dog, all right. It's a long story. Iggy's a stand user, he's a dog, but him and Polnareff never liked each other. They're always fighting. The dog is like pooping on him or biting him or like jumping on his hair and farting in his face. Polnareff is calling him a stupid mutt and calling him all sorts of names. They never seen eye to eye, but at one point they have to fight this Dio's right hand man, which is Vanilla Ice, and he has this stand that like erases anything that it touches. And Iggy lost an arm, and Polnareff lost like part of his foot, so he couldn't stand. Stand, get it? He couldn't stand, so they're both trying to join forces to fight the stand Vanilla Ice, but it's ultimately like too much for them, and they're trying to be the ones like who's gonna save who, and Iggy's trying to save Polnareff, and Polnareff's like, "No, Iggy, I will save you." And then it looks like he did, and Polnareff is about to get hit by this thing, but Iggy uses his last amount of life energy to like summon his stand to pull Polnareff out of the way, and like he survives, and then Iggy dies because he sacrificed himself for Polnareff, and Polnareff is freaking out. He's like, "Dude, why?" Because this happened before. Like right before Iggy died, Advil died because he pushed Polnareff out of the way to save his life, and he died. And he's like, "Why does everyone I care about die?" And he's like, "Dude," he was like, "Iggy, you were just like this crazy dumb dog, but I really admired you because you really didn't care. You had like this like, and he had this admire for him. He admired him because of how strong he was. He didn't care what was going on. He knew that he had it in the bag, and he only noticed that after he died." And that gave him the strength to push forward to defeat Vanilla Ice and then go fight Dio himself. And it's like, dude, like, it's so hard, like, it's just so, it pulls on your, like, emotions, bro. And I don't see how anyone sees them. There's a lot of other things that you guys should check out, because I'm only mentioning some of them, bro. And it's just, there's a lot more to it. It's like, it's just a lot more, and I can't stop. Like, I really want to rewatch the series again. Like, that's how this video is getting me. It's just so amazing and so unique, and you don't see this that much in any other anime. But like, a lot of people will turn their face to it because like I'm not gonna say they're like these guys. There's a lot of like sexual innuendos in this show. Like, one of the ending credit songs is like Bump and Grind or some kind of like some like R. Kelly song or something. I don't know, bro. But like, it's pretty funny. When I first heard it, it made me laugh. Like, but people like will see that and be like, bro, I'm not about that. But at the same time, you watch. But see, and that's another thing. A lot of people will point out its flaws more than what it's really good. Because like, okay, like some things, like for instance, like I just mentioned, like some scenes, like look, if you look on the screen right now, there's a guy basically just wearing a loincloth that I'm fighting. Like I could watch him, like he just took it off and now he's like has bird wings, bro, and he's just a like half naked man. But like everyone's fully clothed, like everyone, it's just like how he how he envisions it, bro, and it gets better down the line with their character design. But that's what people will point out. But like, oh, I'm not about that. I don't really like it. It's just a bunch of half naked buff guys fighting. But like, I don't know how they say that when some people watch Naruto and Naruto kiss Sasuke, but no one wants to talk about that. And then there's another scene where there's another scene where in Diamond is Unbreakable where the main villain of that show took over someone's life and took his face, and that person had a son, and he notices that his dad is not the same, and he finds out that that's not his dad, that it's someone else. And so the main villain finds out that the son knows. So the son is taking a shower, and the dad opens the door, and he was like, "Hey son, I want to take a shower with you." And the son is freaking out because he knows that's not his dad. He's like, "Oh, okay, dad." And they say, "Oh, let me wash your back." And a lot of people are like, will see that scene and be like, "Oh, bro, that's disgusting. Why is he in his shower with them? Why is he washing his back?" But at the same time, that's just the culture for Japanese culture, because they have all male washrooms. They take showers together. We have Goku and Gohan who are basically butt naked in a pool outside their house, just like swimming naked, like this. It's like that's like no one says anything about that. And then there's a lot of scenes where Gohan's running around naked. There's a lot of scenes where Goku's running around naked. And then there's also scenes in Naruto as well, which shows that as well. And like mostly, one that stand out to me, what I thought was funny, but a lot of people aren't talking about, is that Naruto and Shippuden is taking a shower with Kiba, Shino, and a bunch of other male characters. And Naruto goes over to reach for the soap, and he looks down at Shino's crotch, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And like, it it's showing his junk there, but it's not showing it, but what it shows the viewers is this long, thick caterpillar. And he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Shino, that's huge." He wasn't talking about no bug, and you know it. And I thought that was funny. And I think a lot of stuff in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is funny, even though it's wrong. Like I mentioned, there's this stand. I think I mentioned it. There's a stand user who like uses like, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on what it does. It pulls people together with magnetism, and he pulls Advil and Joseph Joestar together, and they're in these like funky risque positions, and it's so funny because they're trying to pull each other off, and Advil's like, "Mr. Joestar, this looks rather weird." He was like, "I know, just keep pulling, just keep pulling," and like all these little kids are laughing at him, and then this old lady thinks they're perverts, and he's trying to pull himself off of Advil, and this old lady's beating the crap out of him, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And it's so funny. And there's a lot of scenes like that, and it's supposed to be funny, but a lot of people will point at it and be like, "No, that's just weird." But like I just mentioned, a lot of other scenes, and there's a lot more scenes out there that are risque, but no one will point that out because that show is quote unquote a good anime. You know what I'm saying? Like just learn to laugh, bro. It's nothing against you or anything. Like I learned to laugh. Like I'm comfortable with my sexuality to understand that this is a joke and it's supposed to be funny, but some people aren't, and which I understand. Like no judging you, no judging anybody. It's just supposed to be comedy, and we can all laugh at ourselves sometimes. But yeah, like I still have plenty of time on this video. But yeah, but like let me talk about the villains in this. Not every villain is the same in this. They all have their own personal goals. Like Dio wanted to be immortal, and then you have part two, which is the Pillar Man, and I already forgot his name. I think his name is like Sarge or something, and don't quote me. He wants to be the perfect being, and he wants to get rid of everybody. And then same thing for Dio. Dio, when he gets a stand user, when he takes Jonathan Joestar's. I get them mixed up. Jonathan's body, and he gets a stand. And his thing is that he wants to show you that he's unbeatable and he can do whatever he wants and nothing can stop him. And then you have Hoshiguro Kira or whatever his name is with Killer Queen, and he's kind of scary because he's more down to earth in this down to earth part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like he takes people's bodies and he murders people, but at the same time he makes sure he does like he works an office job. He does a daily 9 to 5. You know, he's just this normal guy. He got like third place participation awards in his house, or good, or thanks for trying, because he doesn't try as hard because he doesn't want anything to bring notice to who he is, and that's a perfect because he goes around murdering people, and that's like a perfect alibi. Like, oh no, that guy, he's just a normal guy. Like, he's really just like there's nothing crazy about him. But then he's over here just blowing people up and killing people, and he's just like, and it's scary. And it reminds me of Michael Myers a little bit because Michael Myers is like one of the scariest horror villains to me, because Michael Myers could literally be anything. Because like like he's just like the incarnate of evil. Like it could be your mailman who can go around killing all these people. It could be the bus driver. It could be, you know what I'm saying? It could just be anybody. And that's how Hoshikiga Kida or whatever his bro Killer Queen's stand user. There you go. He could just be. He literally can be anybody. And then when he finds out you know, or he finds out you're getting in his way, then he just goes kill you. And Killer Queen's ability is like heat-seeking bombs, and he could like, and it's like indestructible, and you can't stop it. And it'll find you, it'll look for your heat, and it'll blow you up and kill you into a million pieces. He killed this poor freaking guy who he just wanted to have friends. He's like this fat ugly dude. Shout out to me. He's like, he wants to be friends, and he finally gets Josuke to be his friend and everything, and then he finds out who he was, and the dude, it's a race to find who gets to Josuke first, or who stops who first. And he finally he's fighting, like he survives the explosions, and he's like bleeding, and he meets into a school, and he finds Josuke, and he grabs the door to open it, and he looks into the mirror, like the window reflection shows that Kira's right behind him, and he's like, I put a bomb on the door that you're touching right now, and it's gonna activate. He was like, it was a nice try. And then he lets go of the door, and he just blows up and dies, and he's like, Josuke! And he just dies, bro, and it's so sad because he was a nice guy. And it's just like, bro, like, it's so crazy. It's different from Dio. It's like, it's a different tone from Dio, because like when you see Dio, you're like, oh yeah, bro, I'm dead. Like, I'm dead. Like, he fought that dude with the emerald stem, bro. Kose. Oh, bro, I'm butchering, bro. Some of these names are hard to say, and don't get me wrong. I know who I'm talking about. Red hair, green tracksuit. Yeah, Emerald Splash was a dude's name, like his stand, but he tried to fight Dio, and like he died. He got one shot basically, and then like Polnareff tried to fight Dio, and he met with Dio, and Dio was just playing with him, using his stand to stop time and putting him down the stairs, and he kept stepping up to the stairs. And then he'll freeze time and put him back at the bottom, and basically it freaked out Polnareff. Like, bro, like when you fight Dio, unless you're like the main character, bro, like you're dead. That's how I feel. The Pillarman, dude, I'm dead. This dude turned into a bird and he's flying all over the place, bro. I'm freaking dead. That's what I'm saying. But with this guy, I'm just like, bro, like I have a chance, but at the same time, bro, he could find me. He can be anywhere. He could take anyone's face. Like, I could find him and almost, like, that's what happened in the show. They found him and almost beat him, and he got away because he stole someone's freaking face and identity, bro. It's just like he got away. Like, how does he get away? It's like all the villains are, like, very unique, and there's more down the line that I can't even get into because I'm basically spoiling. Like, King Crimson, bro. Like, he could see. King Crimson is sort of like, I want to see Dio and King Crimson fight one. Like, just do what if battles, bro. Because King Crimson can see the future and what happens or how you're gonna fight or what you're gonna do, and he can just counteract and just kill you, bro. He punches someone and you just explode. It's just crazy. Like, this show is crazy, and the villains are cool, the characters are cool, the art design is cool. And that's why I really love this show. Like, I really love this show. And like, I didn't get into like Stone Ocean or Jojo Lion or whatever because I haven't read those yet. I'm on it. Don't worry about it. But it's just an amazing show, and like, I see people cosplay as it. My boy Leroy cosplayed as the World. Shout out to Leroy. He cosplays like JoJo characters. There's so many people I met who like JoJo's, and when every time I could find someone who likes JoJo's, I'm like, bro, we're JoJo bros. like it's just like it's such a unique show that I really want everyone to actually go check out. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. Oh, and if you don't like it, I'm not gonna be one of those people like, oh, bro, you don't like it. Okay, but if you don't like it, I need a probable reason why you don't like it. Just don't say because of all the risque stuff that you're not comfortable with. Like, if you really want to know if you like this show, watch part one. If you think part one is too slow or boring, I don't blame you. Skip that and go to part two with Joseph Joestar and watch 3 or 4 episodes of that, which because that's more of a sped up like more not sped up, but let's more action, a little bit more sped up in the story, and you get more out of it. And if you like that, then you'll like the rest of JoJo's. But if you don't like 3 or 4 episodes of part two and didn't like part one, then this show is not for you. And I don't blame you because this is not. I'm not saying this is the best show and everyone should go watch it. I'm saying give it a try. Give it a try. Don't knock it till you try it. That's what I'm gonna say. It's an amazing show about adventures and friendships and like an investment to characters that pay off and you feel like you actually are part of the show and everything. It's just a great show, and I really want everyone who's listening to this to give it a try if you haven't, or if you have given it a try and you didn't give it a full try and you just looked at some fights on YouTube and you didn't understand it, because you won't understand it because there's so much journey and story that you don't understand for you to actually enjoy the fight you're watching. That's give it a try. Let me know in the comment section. Have you watched JoJo's? Do you like it, or do you not like it? Why don't you like it, and why do you do like it? I like it. I already gave you all the reasons. Like I'm really tired of talking right now, but thanks for watching, everybody. There's gonna be more JoJo content on here. I'm gonna try to do more anime as well. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Give JoJo's a try. Do some poses. Go talk. Go spread the word of JoJo if you like it, like I have. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back with more episodes later. And you guys have a nice day. Much love. Bye.